What's going on, guys? Welcome into another video. Today we are talking ships, and I'm going to give you guys my list of ships that I think are the best crewed ships for Pyro. Now keep in mind, guys, that this list is not the official list. This is just me giving my opinion to help you guys out make better informed decisions about going into Pyro. In my opinion about Pyro in general, it's not a system that you want to be a solo player in, and I think that is intentional by CIG to push the multi-crew gameplay. They want you to play this game with other people, and I think with the mission designs and some of the bounties, I think that they are really trying to push that, because doing a lot of this stuff single is very difficult. The bounties have more ships. The ground NPCs, the outpost missions, they have more NPCs there. Some of them have up to 56 NPCs that you have to kill, and that would be a tough task for anybody trying to do that alone. I mean, of course, you can go in with a light fighter or something like that and shoot the NPCs from your ship, but some of the outposts actually have caves underneath them, and you will actually have to go into those caves, and the NPCs can throw grenades now. So it's more important to go into Pyro with people that you trust, and I'm giving my list of ships that I think can do this very well. Now, when I say multi-crew gameplay, I mean you and at least one other person. Some of these ships you do need more than 2 people, sometimes 3, to run them a little bit more effective. So let's get right into it, and we're going to start here in the front row. We're going to be starting with the Vanguards. I think these are going to be excellent ships. The Warden and the Sentinel for doing your NPC bounties and also doing your outpost missions. Now, we all know the Vanguards don't have any cargo capacity on them, but you can still do the box missions. At least for me, when I was doing the box missions in Pyro, they were a little bit bugged out, so they weren't always spawning. And if they did spawn, sometimes they would spawn underneath the map. So just keep that in mind. It's an old bug that's been since I started playing this game, where sometimes the box missions don't work. But nevertheless, the Vanguard, the Vanguard and the Warden and the Sentinel will give you the best option to do those missions. Okay, so we're gonna move on here to the left of this list. We got the Hurricane and we got the Scorpius. These are also both fantastic fighting ships, and I think the Scorpius is gonna be one of the most used fighting ships in Pyro as far as like PvP goes and the NPC bounty missions, just because how good it flies in Atmo. I think it's the best the best 2-seater heavy fighter that flies in Atmo in the game. I think it flies better than the Hurricane. Some people would disagree with me on that, but that's, like I said, this is just me giving my opinion. Again, both of these ships don't have the cargo capacity. You can't do box missions with these, but you can do your NPC bounties and you can do the outpost missions. So it does provide you some extra gameplay. And all 4 of these ships in the front row, they do have internal storage of some kind. So if you do find loot and things like that, you can put it into the ship storage and take it back with you. Okay, we're going back here to the second row. The Cutlasses are also going to be another good set of ships. Of course, the Cutlass Red, we all know it has the medical beds. The Cutlass Blue has the interdiction, and the Cutlass Black has the cargo capacity, and it's supposed to have a tractor beam on it. So I think even the Cutlass Blue is also supposed to have a tractor beam, but I haven't been able to test that in EPTU yet. At the last time I tested it, there was no tractor beam on the Blue. I haven't gotten to one in the Black because in the EPTU I don't have enough credits, and the EPTU is not stable enough right now for me to earn credits to buy another Cutlass Black. So, but once I have more information about that, I'll probably make an update video to this and just let you guys know what's going on with some of these ships' tractor beams and things like that. But I think with these 3 ships right here, you're going to get a lot more out of your play experience, being able to do a lot more mission types. So I think that the Cutlass Blacks, the Cutlass Black, the Red, and the Blue, these are also going to be fantastic ships, and they're not too expensive, and they're much more attainable than some of the other ships on this list. And if you're starting out with 1 or 2 guys, maybe 3, it's going to give you that opportunity to do that. And also, I believe with the Cutlass Black, I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be the co-pilot's going to have access to that tractor beam. So having that third person will probably be a better idea with this ship, since it does have 3 seats that you can use, but only 2 racks. So, somebody got a hot rack. Somebody got to share a bunk. I'll let you guys argue who's sharing the bunk in the comments. Moving over to the left, I think the Redeemer is going to be one of the better ships for Pyro. It has the weapons, it has, the firepower is crazy. It has very good shielding. And one of the things I wanted to mention in this video before I get too far into it is shielding is very important in Pyro when it comes down to the solar flares. The solar flares, if you don't have the right shields, it can damage your ship. There's a ship missing from this list, and I'll explain why I didn't put it on this list. And that's because I think that particular ship is under shielded, and it did take damage from the solar flare. So it's currently not on this list, but I will mention it later on as an honorable mention. And also, I think that particular ship, the turrets are kind of weak, but I will mention that ship a little bit later. But this ship has the shielding. It has decent enough whole HP to where you can do your NPC bounties. You can do PvP with this ship. You can do the outpost missions. It does not have a cargo grid on it, so you can't run cargo if you find it. But it does give you the opportunity to do multiple gameplay styles. So the Redeemer for me is an excellent choice for a multi-crew ship in Pyro. We're gonna move right here to the Retaliator. Again, this ship, especially with its modularity coming online here soon, this is also going to be another fantastic ship for Pyro for the multi-crew gameplay, and also because this ship has a lot of HP to it. So even though it doesn't fly that well, it is a little bit harder to kill. And if you have a crew that has the turrets on there, you got your turrets manned for the PvE at least, it's going to be an excellent choice. Moving on here. So we have the Connietus. Now the Connietus is an underdog. It's an underappreciated ship. As of yesterday, I tested this in the EPTU with my boy Canop. The tractor beam is working for the Connietus now. Now the Connietus is not perfect, but what it does have, you have that tractor beam on the bottom turret, you have a top turret, and you also have 4 pilot controlled weapons, up to 2 size 5s and 2 size 4s. You don't have as many missiles as the Andromeda does, but one of the things that you do have is that tractor beam. You have the cargo capacity. Now here's where I say the Connietus is not perfect. That rear cargo space, it's hard to get anything bigger than like the big 16 STU boxes. We tested this yesterday. We could not get those into the back storage space. So you will be limited to only putting the smaller boxes in that back shielded space for the storage. But I think that's kind of okay. I do hope the Connietus gets another update in the future. That way, all of the cargo grids can be loaded by the tractor beam. So hopefully they make it to where that rear cargo space, even though it's shielded, can also be let down to load cargo a little bit more efficiently. But this ship right here, good firepower, decent shielding, not as good as the Andromeda, but decent enough shielding. And you're going to have the missiles, you got the turrets, and you can do all mission types with this. So you can do your bounty hunting, you can do cargo, you can do outposts, you can do every mission type with this ship. And I think that's going to make it a fantastic choice for a multi-crew ship in Pyro. And yeah, so we're going to move on to the Andromeda. Much like the Taurus, it has the ability to do all those missions. It does not have a tractor beam. However, one of the things I do want to test out, and we're gonna try to get all these tests done for you guys, is I want to see if we can take this tractor beam off of this ship and put it onto this ship. If you can take the tractor beam off of this ship and put it onto this ship, it's going to make this ship even better, even though it doesn't have the shielded storage like the Taurus does. But what it does have is the extra firepower. So you're sacrificing that rear storage space for a little bit of extra firepower, and you are able to use that tractor beam if we can test this correctly. Like I said, the EPTU right now is not very stable for me, so we're going to continue to, like I said, run these tests and check these ships out and see what we can do, see what we can make happen. But you have You already know you can make the Andromeda into a missile boat. It has, again, the 2 size 5 and the up to 2 size 5 and the 2 size 4 weapons for the pilot, giving this thing a lot of firepower, top and bottom turret, a ton of missiles. So this is an excellent choice for Pyro. We're going to be moving on to this back row. And this back row is a little bit different in that not all of these ships in the back row have the innate ability to do combat, but what they do have is very good shielding protection from the solar flares, and that is very, very important in Pyro. We all know that CIG wants to push the salvage gameplay, so the Reclaimer is going to be an excellent choice for a crewed ship. It has size 5 turret weapons. It has plenty of shielding. The hull munching is going to be coming online here soon, so the Reclaimer is going to be an excellent choice. And also with that hull munching coming online, you will be able to use that claw to grab people's ships. So if you're flying around Pyro, you go to an outpost and you can get there fast enough in this ship, you just can grab somebody else's ship, take it away, munch it down, and be done with it. Now, we're going to move on to a ship that people probably didn't expect me to put into this list, but I'm putting it here simply because of its shields and because you can put other fighters inside of the ship. Now, with that, you are sacrificing a little bit of cargo space, but I think if you're okay with that, you know, this ship can be and will be a great ship for Pyro, and that is the Origin 890 Jump. Now, the 890 Jump has a ton of shields. It has the missile turrets. It has the front turrets. It will protect you from a solar flare, straight up. So, the 890 Jump is an excellent ship for Pyro. It's going to be one of the better ships, I think, especially since you could put a Scorpius, you could probably put a Hurricane inside of it, you could put a light fighter inside of it. It does have space for cargo. It has space for all your crew. You know, the multi-crew ships, they are easy to hit, but this one can take a lot of damage. And like I said, you have if you're being attacked, you have that opportunity to open that front cargo bay, get your heavy fighter out there or your light fighter, and put out some damage. Also, I forgot to mention with the Andromeda, it does have that snub fighter, so you can do the same thing. Okay. And we also can't forget with the 890 Jump, much like the Carrick, it does have that mobile med bay. So if you are doing an outpost mission or a cave mission and you get shot down or you get encapped, you can just respawn on your ship, giving you the opportunity to get right back into the action instead of having going all the way back to a station. So we have the Carrick here. Now the Carrick is another good option for an exploration ship in Pyro. You're going to be able to do a lot of stuff with the ship. Not so much on the combat. I think with the combat, you're pretty much screwed on that. Especially like I think in Atmo, you're really going to be screwed. I don't think you can really get too many light fighters in here, but you can put Furies up in this top area. So if you are being attacked, you can launch the Furies out of here, or you can put them out here in the front. But I'd rather keep this front cargo bay empty just for the cargo, and also because the sides, they currently still don't open. I would hope, you know, I got to put on my Hopium mask here. I would hope that as they're updating the ship, I would hope that they give this ship some type of tractor beam support. I just think that loading these cargo bays, you know, manually is going to be pretty tough when they are able to open. So, you know, hopefully they get the cargo base not cargo base, but the tractor beams that they need, so the ship can be much more effective. But as I said earlier, you can put the Furies up here, you can put Snub Fighters up here to help protect you if you're going out and doing missions. It has a mobile med bay. It has plenty of space. It has very good fuel, and you have the shielding from the EMP, not from the EMPs, but from the solar flares of the Pyro Star. Now, in my opinion, this is the best ship for Pyro. It has the guns, it has the shielding, it has the cargo space. The only thing this ship doesn't have is a tractor beam. If you were somehow able to get a tractor beam onto this ship, it would probably be the best ship in the game for multi-crew gameplay. Now, again, I have to put on the Hopium mask, and I have to hope that the C1, not C1, but the C2 gets a tractor beam. If it does, a lot like the the constellations down here, we'll have to see if this ship can get that tractor beam from the C2 if it does get one. And I think if it does that, then this is going to be the best ship. You would essentially just trade out one of these guns for your turret, and you still have one gun and one turret, and you can use that to load your cargo. And I was talking to this on Scar Citizens podcast about the ability to shoot somebody's ship and open it and take the cargo without ever having to get your guys into danger. And I think that's going to be another fantastic gameplay style in Star Citizen. So you don't really have to board, although I do think people like the aspect of boarding. But me, like, why take a risk when you don't need to? Because if their ship's disabled and you're taking their cargo, I mean, you can essentially have guys in the cargo bay of your ship to protect them if they try to board your ship instead. I think that's a better way, it's an easier way to handle that. So in my opinion, the A2 is probably the best. I would say the Taurus, in my opinion, is going to be a very, very close second. It could even be in first because of the tractor beam can't give it the edge. But I think with the way the A2 flies, its shielding has better shielding than the Taurus does. It has superior firepower from the turrets and all that stuff. It has more cargo space than the Taurus does. So I would much prefer to have this ship over this one, even without the use of a tractor beam. Now, in the beginning of this video, there's a ship that I said is an honorable mention, and we're going to talk about this ship because I feel like this ship is good, but I feel like it's undershielded still, and I feel like it's still pretty weak compared to some of the others, and that is the Drake Corsair. And the reason I'm saying these things about the Drake Corsair is simply because when I was playing the PYRO playground with my friend Carly, she was actually flying this ship when it got hit by an EMP. Now, granted, it did have the stock shields on it, but it did not fare so well against that EMP with just that one shield. And that's why I said the shields are important. So if there's an EMP coming and you're in a ship that has only front and rear shields, or it only has one shield that covers the entire ship, you either need to get to the dark side of a planet or try to get to a station. Now, if you're in Quantum with the size of PYRO, that could be something that, you have to just kind of eat. But just know that the solar flares can damage your ship. Her wing was red, and so was one of her weapons. I think if she had a better shield, that it would protect her. We're trying to test that. Unfortunately, my game hasn't been exactly that stable, so more testing needs to be done. And who knows, they may change the way that shields work in the future. Everything's always changing with CIG. We all know that the Corsair has a ton of firepower, but I think where it falls short is the turrets are very, very weak. They're only size 2s, and they don't really give the best coverage. You got the one here on the back, you got the ones here on the sides, but I just think that there are better choices than ships. If I was going to go out into PYRO, I would probably prefer to get a Taurus over this ship because it has the tractor beam. I think even though this has superior firepower, I would feel much more comfortable even in something like an Andromeda over a Corsair in PYRO, especially when it comes to the crew gameplay. I think the turrets on the Andromeda are far superior. Even the Taurus, I think, has superior turrets. I would give me 2 size 3s over 2 size 2s any day. I think anybody else would take that. I think if the Corsair had at least one turret, this turret back here, I think if that one had at least 2 size 3s on it, I think it'd be a lot better. But it's an honorable mention. It's still a good ship. It's still going to give you a lot of different gameplay loops. And the beautiful thing about this is every ship in this list has its weakness. There's no one ship that's going to be able to dominate all ships. Like, every ship has some type of glaring weakness, and I think that's a good balance for the game. But this is just my list. We got the Corsair on here as an honorable mention, but like I said, this is just my opinions. I know a lot of people love the Corsair, and comment down below. tell me what your list of best cruise ships for Pyro are, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Find a couple. Stay safe in Pyro. See you guys soon. Peace.